Andrew, are you worthy?
To a certain extent, yes. I mean, I consider myself very worthy of certain, I think I'm a worthy person.
Looks
Yeah.
like I am.
Oh.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of The Good, the Bad, the Score. I'm Collin.
And I'm Andrew.
And today we're going to be talking about the fourth entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Thor. So Thor is directed by Kenneth Branagh, and it stars Chris Hemsworth as the titular character, Thor. Thor is about to be crowned King of Asgard when all of a sudden their long-form enemies, the Frost Giants, invade and try and steal their signature weapon. After Thor goes on a rampage and disproves his worthiness as king, he gets banished to Earth, or New Mexico, where he is powerless and he has to prove his worthiness again. In the meantime, he comes across some scientist, Jane, played by Natalie Portman, and he forms a relationship with Natalie Portman and her group as he tries and reclaims his hammer and prove himself as the mighty hero Thor. So, Andrew, I'm going to start things off with you. What did you think about Thor?
Well, here's what I really liked about Thor. First of all, what I appreciate about this movie so much is that this is a totally different superhero movie of that time. You know, it's funny enough, there is only two of the MCU movies that I did not see in theaters, which was The Incredible Hulk and Thor. And I really do regret not seeing this movie. But other than that, though, Kenneth Branagh directs this movie, which is crazy because he directed Artemis Fowl, which was pretty crummy. But this movie particularly that he directed back in 2011 was great. I thought his directing was really unique. This was right up his alley from, seeing so many works that he's done similar to the genre of Thor. It's really good. I love the costumes. It's really just the set design is beautiful. But let's talk about the actors. Chris Hemsworth is awesome as Thor. He is badass. I mean, the guy is just jacked, but Anthony Hopkins is also really good to play his father. I love this whole narration beginning, how he explains the world of Asgard. And Loki, played by Tom Hiddleston, he is a great villain. They do a good job beginning to set him up in this movie, but I really liked this particular villain's motivation and why he does these things. And of course, we learn more about Loki later on in the MCU movies, but this was a good introduction to that character. And I thought the action was really cool. And I loved the chemistry between Thor and Jane, played by Natalie Portman, who I also thought did a good job. I liked her character too. It was a different type of female character in a superhero movie. It wasn't like a typical damsel distress. She is a totally different type of character. She's a character who's very passionate about, science and all that. And I like this movie. It has heart. It's very heavy at certain moments, and it's just tremendous acting.
Well, what I liked about Thor is how much it made Thor a mainstream name in pop culture. Back in 2011, when this movie came out, Thor wasn't known as that Marvel superhero who's thought of as a god in the history books. But Chris Hemsworth completely sucks you into this character. I think that he's very charming. He's badass. He can carry a film like this, and he really makes you buy into all the mythology of Thor, Asgard, and even Loki. Speaking of Loki, I think Tom Hiddleston, while started off he's a lot more silent and more subdued than he'll become in later films. I think he's a great Loki. I think that he embodies the character so well. I like the story how Thor is banished, and you got to see Thor before he's even Thor. It's like a reverse origin story to where he has to earn his powers again. The overall just plot of trying to be a better version of yourself and improve yourself is great to learn. I do agree. I think that this is a very fun movie. There's a lot going on. There's an equal balance of Earth scenes and Asgard scenes. It's a lot of fun, and I do think that, especially with all the context we have now, I do think that it's a much better film now than it was back in the day. But Andrew, what did you not like about Thor, though?
Just times this movie kind of could just feel very slow at times. I don't know. I mean, I kind of liked a lot of the Asgard stuff, and I kind of wish we got more out of it in this movie. But I know later on in the MCU movies, you do get more out of it. But I don't know. I was just more invested in the Asgard stuff than the stuff on Planet Earth. Yes, the Planet Earth stuff with him and Jane and Thor learning how to become a better person as she's kind of showing him how to become, a better person. I don't know. It's good, but personally, I just liked more of the Asgard stuff, and I wish we got a little bit more out of that too. Oh yeah, Darts by Kat Demmons. She can be a little bit annoying sometimes. She gets on my nerves a little bit. I mean, I know she's there to be the comic relief of the movie, but she does get a little bit annoying at times. And I kind of feel like she's almost trying too hard to be funny too. Some of the visual effects this movie isn't really not that great. There's some moments that are really good visuals, but then there's other moments where some of the visual effects aren't all that great. It's very noticeable. They could tell that it's screen. But I really have minor criticism. I mean, obviously this movie isn't as big as the other MCU movies, but it's, it has a good intro to this character.
So my biggest negative about Thor is that it looks very amateur. I think the costume design, it looks too clean. It looks like a costume rather than like something that you're watching the characters. It's like you're watching like a Six Flags show. While surprisingly, I think on Earth it fits a lot better than it does in Asgard. When Thor flips that table after he's denied going into battle for the Frost Giants, it looks like a stage show. It doesn't really look all that appealing. And then also, I do think that it is while it's fun, it doesn't have much plot to it. It really is just Thor trying to reclaim his worthiness and stopping Loki. I don't think that story was really that emphasized in this one. It was more kind of just introducing Thor to the audience for later installments. It's very okay in my eyes. As much as it's fun, I just think it's like, okay, this is what the lower end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like. I didn't hate it, obviously. I really enjoyed it, but I do think that there's a lot of problems with the design. I think the lack of a story, really. And like you saying, the supporting characters do get on my nerves a little bit. But no, I do think that this is the low point for Thor, and I'm hoping that moving forward that each installment gets better and better. So let's go into guessing our ratings. Andrew, I'm going to say you're going to give this movie an 8 out of 10.
Close. I really enjoyed this movie, and like I said earlier, this is a different type of superhero movie, which I love about this movie. So I really thought the cast was great, the performance is all great, it's fun, it's entertaining, it's a kick-ass movie. I'm giving Thor an 8.5 out of 10. So Colin,
Ooh.
I'm going to guess your score. You obviously did not like this movie as much as I did, so you're going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10.
So, you nailed it. 7.5 out of 10. It's a very entertaining movie. It has some flaws, even some characters we even forgot, like Thor's friends. We completely forgot them. But overall, I think it's a good start for Thor, and I'm interested in seeing Thor's journey now, starting off from this original movie. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching The Good, The Bad, The Score. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. All those, just search Good, Bad, Score. It's just Good, Bad, Score. Take out the does. Please comment below what you thought of the movie, what you thought of our show, and anything else you want to talk about. And once again, I'm Colin.
And I'm Andrew.
And Andrew, I think you actually forgot your hammer at my house.
So funny. Really good one, Colin. It's a good one. Yeah, that's my tiny little hammer.